innovation village in every city or in every town. And it doesn't have to be innovation village. How do we create these safe spaces that as a small business I can go and ask questions, educate it. And that's why Lorena was talking about partnerships. Government won't be able to replicate this everywhere. But we need partnerships. We need to work with URA, we need to work with the private sector, we need to work. And for me, that is who are the people that we are working with. And once we've done that, I'm sure
I hear you. Millie, the SMEs might have their own concern. You know, they might fear the taxman. You know, when you're in open space, you are seen, and they might restrain themselves from taking that shift. Don't you think so? To internet, to using digital space.
Well, the matters the SMEs might be an taxman, the SMEs need to survive. Survival is most important. And we've just been talking about people going online to be able to supply vegetables. If you don't do that, you won't be able to survive. So the fear for the taxman should not supersede the restraint to survival. But I'll also say that the taxman has changed face. Changed model. The taxman is speaking to you. The taxman is ready to listen, like she was saying, government is ready to listen. We've had quite a number of stakeholder engagements where we are going out, and the most recent ones which we've had up country, the Commissioner General has specifically purposed to meet the different district or regional leaders who influence the different people, the small and mediums, and said we are all Ugandans, we are all here to grow our country, we are all here to move our country to the next level. So let's work together, let's understand each other. I'll tell you that one of the very specific messages that he has brought on board is this small at the last time we were looking at policy measures, we were so passionate about discussing what the Gambuuze has to pay, and then focusing. That's why I keep telling you that we are looking at information. So that we can allow the small people to grow and get from those who should actually be contributing. So I call upon the small and mediums not to fear the taxman. We also put up an activity to improve our feedback mechanism. How we reach out to them. You're able to pay your taxes on mobile. We have those various rates whereby if you have that small income, you can pay on mobile. So you don't have to see the taxman physically. Because sometimes I may tell you do not fear the taxman, but you just look at my uniform and you just shake.
You may not
so we are providing a lot of online services, and like she shared, if it's $7 now, please go on to the website. You can claim your withholding, you can get your certificate. It needs to be more friendly and reachable, and we are even sending out a lot of messages. So the small and medium shouldn't fear the taxman, and like Michael shared, learn. Get to know. Some of these people have been misled by the middleman. I don't want to say the accountants, but the ethics about it. So the small and medium might send to someone in a country to buy supplies. Take time to learn what are the services on the URA. We get direct support. So what makes the taxman be feared is sometimes the middleman. That middleman who says that I have to give Millie some money and the other one, and makes it so expensive. For example, tax identification number is free, but we know that some domain charges this. Yes. But once you get onto the website, you're able to get your tax identification number and get onto our contact.
But is this also information you send out there, because it is believed, I know it is a falsehood, but for you to have a TIN, you should be employed. There are people who believe that. And I don't know, when do you send out such information to the public to know that the thing is free and this is what you need in order to have it?
Well, we send out using a number. We have flyers, we have radio talk shows, we have DJ mentions, we have so many avenues we use. However, we've also realized that much as we've done so much education, the crime is out. So we come up with a tax education strategy and are going out, like we shared, as government, we are getting everyone on board. So you're going to see that our tax education is no longer going to be done by just we are bringing on board the
presence of this middleman is an implication of something that you have to do.
Exactly. So we are trying to break those barriers, send out information, but not only because I may tell you about it, and already when you look at me as really, you're seeing tax. So I want to go to someone, your cultural leader. I come to Guru and get your leader. I talk to your leader. So your leader will come and talk to you. That's tax identification is free. You can get. So that is the approach we are taking. We are getting the message to the people who can best get it to their people, that these things are available, they are free. You don't have to pay. You imagine paying the 80,000 a whole year. Know this. They don't know this, but we believe that
80,000 as what? As tax.
Yes. As tax. 80,000. And when the middleman comes in between, then it becomes less. And with all this online, we believe that if government works together, we have to educating people and they know this subject they can be reached. You do not need a middleman. Then we know that these businesses will be able to grow. Because trust me, yes, some people fear to grow in business, fearing the tax. But we only tax what you have earned. We also know, by the way, that small and medium businesses take time to get level. They take time to, for example, a business cannot be profitable in the very first year, unlike the online ones. But these other normal businesses, it is rare. You have to keep investing and investing.
True.
So once you keep your information, that is where I want to request small and medium to try as much as possible to respect and keep information and data. Once you keep the information, this is what costs the building, this is what costs. Then when we work it out, you don't have to pay tax for some time until you're able to make profit. So all this information is available, and we are also changing our mode of passing it on. We realize people don't listen to DJ mentions, so we are approaching it through the various local leaders, the civil society, government, parliament, and all those people to pass on.
The tax campaign because of you.
Exactly.
But not as aggressive as I would want it to be.
You'd like it to be.
Each time you start a conversation about this, you know that question. I'm sorry about the question.
Exactly. we have tried our best on that, but you also know that accountability of tax is not only a responsibility of Uganda Revenue Authority.
Okay.
So again, we are working together with civil society, with the Ministry of Finance and government to expand that Because of You campaign, so that it moves out and people can be able to see what their taxes do. Frank, also, when collections are not a match, there's so much of the cake that can be shared. So we need to work together as this country to see that we increase that can be shared. So much as we try our best to explain this is what the tax has done, it may not be satisfactory to some people. And that's why we say, and by the way, because you find that, Frank, you will pay money for someone in Karamoja in a hospital to be able to deliver, and have a live baby, you will never get that money back to you. But you're giving it for the good of the growth, and you can get that done.
All right. We're coming to you. You are a pair appreciation season. We will take some questions, a few of them. There are quite many questions, comments. Chitamike Geoffrey is in Kawempe. Feel free to send in a question in Luganda. Bw'obanga osobola okuwandiika okwogera obulungi bajja kukikuddamu abaliwo bamanyi Oluganda. But let's start with Chitamike Geoffrey in Kawempe. Says, my question goes to Millie. We are seeing unfairness in Uganda's taxation system when some of the online businesses are not taxed properly, yet for us in arcades pay high taxes on top of high rent charged on us. How is URA addressing that? Please note it. Arach, Gladys and Gulu, my question goes to Millie again. You see the face of URA. What efforts has URA put in place to see that some taxes like OTT are scrapped off to enable online businesses thrive during this difficult time of COVID?
That OTT thing.
Do you want to take one by one?
You can take
So many. Chirabo Angela, thank you. You are in Ntinda. My question goes to Rowena. Rowena, it is said that government introduced Wi-Fi in Kampala City. I personally tried to log on to it, but in vain. How do you say, what do you say about that? Because you are likely to thrive on online business, you're only going forward. Must use Wi-Fi. How about Biaranga? Tourism is an export of goods and services that can be consumed at home. Why should it be taxed? Okay, this is because the trickle-down effect along the value chain of tourism is immense. It touches on most points of production in other sectors. I don't think I understand this, Herbert. Honest Njau, given the level of digital literacy, is it possible to create digital platforms for SMEs located in close proximity so as to assist them in accessing more customers?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll read out the rest, but do you want to respond? On those first.
Okay. Unfair taxation of online businesses. We are seeing that online businesses are fast growing. I'll say that for some of these online businesses, 6% in the last 6 years. Online businesses are business enablers that you pay taxes. Pay tax and we have them on our radar. We must also appreciate that quite a number of these international firms, the international organizations which are not resident in Uganda. So the tax regime at the moment focuses on being resident, physical presence in Uganda. So some of our tax regimes, we are in discussions, and this is the time that we are looking at policy amendments, Finance, Uganda Revenue Authority, to come up with proper digital taxation policies, but also to address some of those regimes that do not enable us to properly get tax from the online businesses. Let's also appreciate that online businesses are in space. The transactions are in space. I'll give you an example of the tax regime where we have to tax on imported services. Now, software for your computer, it would come with a CD. So the CD would be imported physically, and we would get it at the airport or wherever through DHL, and we're able to tax. So now things that UCC, Bank of Uganda, and all this, so that we're able to identify proper tax points where we can be able to support and be able to collect this tax. We also know that you may, unlike when you put tax and not pay for them at the end of the day. Or for some of these models, what's happening is, yes, you go all the way online, and then at the end of the day, you pay physical cash money. So we are coming up with solutions. We also know that internationally, the Africa Tax Administration Forum, and I can say that Kenya has come up with the digital tax. It's called digital tax.
And the department that deals with that.
No, it is actually the online business. Work on to be able to collect tax from the online businesses. But you know, this is a cat and mouse game.
It is.
We want this to grow, and we are looking at taxing them. Of course, for any first allow them, I'll give you so that's why you see so many private schools came up. There was a lot of expansion, and then at a point when they were now able to make profit, the government, but only 3 million. We are cognizant of that fact. So we may come up with a tax soon, or it may take some time based on what will come through, but we are very cognizant of this, and we believe we will be able to address that. Now on the issue of OTT.
Yes, there was a question about OTT.
OTT is a very interesting topic, and that over-the-top tax, I must say, came in as a way of government trying to find their feet. How do we get into this online and all this OTT came through? And I must say that when we say that online business is struggling in this time of COVID, I do not think so. That's not what the numbers are saying. And I'll tell you that OTT in this period is one of the best performing tax rates. It has performed
because of the major shift to online.
percent over the target. So it's very difficult for that one to be scrapped. However, the government ours is to implement the scrapping and all this is handled by the finance, but specifically career. So that framework needs to go to
Gladys has to engage
people that vote into power and the ones who are in charge of either having the tax on board or it being scrapped. But what I can say that at the moment, as I previously, OTT has performed, and we are seeing online businesses growing at a supersonic speed. So I think we should. And that is only 200 shillings a month.
200, and that's how much? 200 a day.
200 a day.
Time with 30. Quite some money. Okay, when Wi-Fi, what happened to the Wi-Fi you promised?
First of all, let me give a background. We were told no. No, at that moment we were able to get this promised Wi-Fi because of the NBI I mentioned. So we provide internet to government entities and we realized after 5 p.m. everybody shuts down their computer and goes home. But we are still paying for this capacity. So we decided to partner and find a way to use that excess capacity after 5 and provide Wi-Fi for free. So we did this and we've managed to provide it at 284 hotspots around Kampala and Entebbe. Most of the complaints we have is, what about the villages? We're only thinking about CBD. That wasn't a project that said it's no. It was an innovation that we thought of, let's not waste government resources, your taxes matter, let us use the excess capacity. That is how this idea was born. But now that we are being about providing Wi-Fi across the country, we have an ongoing World Bank project called Last Mile, which is aiming at connectivity to the most remote areas, Paramoja, Moroto, West Nile, name it. And under that project, we are going to deploy 300 free hotspots across the country. So we are trying to address...
How many?
300 across the country, yes. So we're trying to address the challenge now on a more global scale. But MyG is available, 284 spots in Kampala and Entebbe. We've had so far...
Where can she go and...
we can publish that information on our Twitter and Facebook just after the interview.
You can use our hashtag TPAS 2020.
We will.
So that they know what spots you're talking about.
We will.
They work from what time to what?
They work from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Over the weekends, it's open.
Okay, well, we'll try out one after this.
At the same time,
okay, we hope that works and benefits you, because that's where we started. That's where the conversation came from in the start, that internet is not as entrenched, as we want it to be. And these people have a point, they want to trade online. Thank you, Judith. I think it would be a great idea to have a startup act. This will provide more practical support to as many startups in Uganda. Startup act.
Yeah, and it's something that's been oncoming, but it's to be our obsession next year. To bring on board the relevant, actors to help in the promotion of creating an enabling environment for where the startup ecosystem can begin to grow. And I guess a lot of it is how do we begin to change the voice of what we're trying to achieve. For example, I was listening to me saying, can you imagine paying 80,000 shillings? Yes, it's a little, but if we change the voice to appreciative inquiry in terms of what does paying 80,000 shillings enable me to do? It enables me to do business with government, it enables me to be compliant, it makes people investable, that if someone sees maybe business, it enables me to be able to get access to loans, it enables me to grow the business of our generation. So it's not the 8,000, it is really what do you get by paying the 80,000. So in the same light, of course, government is losing sleep about jobs, about businesses collapsing. And we hope we can work with. I'm trying to convince Silva to be a startup lawyer, but I guess the money in corporate is also too much. But that's the value I think we can achieve.
Yes, and maybe just to tie with that, so that's what us as the village shop, then a legal incubation hub within the incubation village. So the point of trust and how that is relevant for URA is the taxman is also becoming digital. They brought solutions like the IFRIS for electronic invoicing and receipts, where they'll be doing tracking of sales and things like on supermarket point of sale terminals and things. But we need to see a deeper embedment of URA even within the village, so that the businesses are able to design from scratch, knowing and anticipating, say, how will you comply with the tax, how will this device work, what extensions and portals and terminals do you need. So we rent out that space. It will not be for free for URA. You come in and we talk, because there are overheads. But The other point around interconnectivity of URA system into businesses also raises a trust issue, because URA will also have to earn the trust of businesses that before you integrate your machines and softwares, that they are secure, they are future-proof, they are solid. Unfortunately for my session, and maybe this is something we can consider some other time, is that trust and security issues are very practical. I'd have loved maybe in another time we can do another session where I come with my templates and we can broadcast them, say, for the audience. What clauses do you look out for in an IT policy? When you're purchasing software as a buyer, what are the key essential terms that you do? If it's maintenance and support, what quality of packages exist? If you've suffered a cyber attack or a denial of service attack, because I don't think I'd be adding much value if as business teams they start here and say, oh, download and install a software, or put passwords in your system. Or so I think we can be practical and through the Legal Tech Hub, that's the kind of support Sika and I can offer to URA. And one thing really about OTT, it's a very emotive tax for me, because I have spent a lot of probably the last 5 years analyzing digital. I've seen another proposal from the Ministry of Finance that they want to bring a digital tax, services tax, for streaming services and Netflix. One, you've said it's just 200 shillings, but remember, there are people like us who are running businesses at scale. I have to keep 50 employees online, and that means me paying for them their OTT tax. Whereas it may be like 200 shillings per day. For me, I'm looking at 100k, 200k per day. But also, we need broadband to get into the culture of tax impact assessment. We've said even in spite of the tax, we have seen growth. But even a stunted child grows. At least the belly increases or the head increases. So the impact I'm looking at here is, if it's 200 shillings per day, since you're a numbers person, it's unfair on the person buying a bag of 500 shillings. Simple. Take 200, divide by 500, multiply by 100. You'll find such a person carries a tax impact of about 80%. But if I'm the guy who buys a bag, who buys 50,000 shillings airtime, if you take 200 shillings, you divide it by 50,000 and multiply it by 100 to get the tax impact, you'll find the person is carrying a 0.002% tax burden. So that's where the argument that tax impacts the poor without the rich accounts in terms of income, the tax impact perspective.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kayondo. Now, something from you, Michael. URA or government needs to trust its citizens to be able to create solutions for themselves. It is painful for URA to procure samples from other countries, but then expect when solving economies to make enough rent. I think that's the thing. How do we message rant that government is giving contracts to other people? You're like, okay, do you comply? If you look at the tender request, it says tax clearance. Are you able to get a tax clearance from URA?
Yes, also.
Yeah, some of them, yes. Some of the contracts have those requirements because of the nature of service that you're going to provide. But it's important to realize that unless you comply, you also sometimes don't have the right to complain. And I'll be honest with you, besides doing the job that I do, I also have a business. And there's certain things that surprise you. So, compliments to URA. Getting a tax clearance, I thought was a nightmare. And then I asked someone, he says, no, go in, this is how you do it. And within hours, I didn't call anybody on the system. I was like, wait a minute, this is
But I can now, as a business, as a startup, I say I can help you go into the procurement portal, register my business, because I have a USB certificate license, I have a tax clearance from IRA, and therefore I can bid. They will bid for a price that I will have price. They can do a technicality that I will have price. So it is important for us to be doomed to nurture in these spaces, that registering your business, but also filing your returns, even if it is a new return, it's good. Making profit, if you're making losses, price are filed losses, and it is okay. That was gratifying to know, to learn that. So I would encourage all people in business, in startups. If you're earning below 10 million, you're paying 80,000, but you're compliant. You're compliant.
I hear you.
Yeah, so it's a lot of work to be done.
Let's see.
I also wanted to come in briefly on what Silva was sharing about the OTT. The approach of government has also changed. We are currently in discussions, and I would invite Silva that we have a deeper discussion on this impact of OTT. We just had a workshop, I think it was sometime last week on digital tax e-commerce. So let's have a deeper discussion on this, because like I said, government is listening, URA is listening, we've had discussions with civil society, these policies come through. So we can be able to advise our leaders in parliament that and another work we're doing is we are working with to get more information. Some of these taxes come through due to lack of availability of information. And we know that TCC has, for example, how many MBs are being used. And we were saying if we look at that information and we are able to tag even one shilling of this, so that the burden is not to a few who are doing more business. So there's still space for discussion. Let's have a further discussion and see how we push this for decision, because I'm sure the government does not want to squeeze its taxpayers or its clients, but wherever. The only challenge, like I shared earlier, is the size of the cake. How do we grow this size? So if we can grow this cake without people hurting so much, that is what the government is looking for. And if we have other alternatives, we are ready to take those up and have a discussion.
All right, let's run through this quickly. Atwebembe Edmond, thank you. He's asking, how can SMEs and other companies registered online acquire a TIN, yet you ask for a bank account, which these commercial banks also ask for TIN numbers. From Miwanda, you understand that? Yes, it's a common issue. What efforts has URA done so far to help collapsing businesses? I think that's where Millie started from. William Chiganda, about internet hotspots, I suggest that government instead works on reducing the cost of internet use. Running hotspot all the time may not be sustainable. Balloons. That's for you, Rowena. Wepkul Emmanuel, thank you for the comment. The real issue is the CBD does not have the access points active. Let Rowena be more specific on which access point zones she's talking about. You promised a list. Balu Ronald, is it justifiable for KCC to collect taxes and at the same time you are collecting from the same businesses? I mean, is there such a thing that URA collects taxes and then KCC also collects taxes? A double taxation.
Okay.
You might want to respond. Sometimes I am troubled with the online services of URA. This has deterred business since I can't get a TIN on time. Kindly address the issue before we even fail to join online business.
and then we give that to
All right, Joseph Auma, thank you. He's saying telecom companies play a big role in e-business. What do you say about the drop call, which has become so common?
Business account as the promoter.
Drop calls? You have an idea?
And when we get
Make a call and then it drops before you
then we rectify.
drive a point home.
Yeah, just the board.
Onen Kennedy, he's in NIRA. Okay, what are the requirements for my business to qualify for incubation at Innovation Village? Japheth, yeah. Chibirige Andrew is asking Rowena, the cost of data is too high in Uganda compared to other East African countries. Can't the government subsidize data for citizens to enjoy online businesses in the new normal? Maybe we could start from there. Japheth, do you want to advise this person? Or Kennedy Onen in Lira, requirements for his business to qualify for incubation at the Innovation Village.
It's a very great question, one we hear every day. And I'm happy that now we were just located in Tinda, but now we extended our wings and we're in Gulu, we're in Jinja, we're in Barara. But because innovation only works through collaboration, we have partners even in Lira, so through partners like StartHub that we're also working with, I think there's a hub that you can also walk in and get incubation type services. Now, it really depends on the stage where you are and what you're looking for, and our role is to really work with you if you're trying to come up with an idea. So we have processes for those who are trying to come up with ideas, and then those who are looking for investment. Luckily, we've also been able to put in place an investment fund where we can invest in entrepreneurs who are building services. So about 80% of our programming is online, and anyone who comes through the application would be able to get the support they need, whether it's at starting, at growing, or expanding their business. But I'm happy to note that's across the country, not just now in Tinda where we were born.
Okay, Rowena.
Okay.
You have like two questions. People are not sure which hotspots are you talking about.
Like I had promised, they are going to be treated in a short while, but there are hotspots in Bukoto, Bombo Road, Entebbe, Jinja Road, Kampala Road, Kasangati, Mbuya, Katwe, Chirudu, Chisenyi, Kololo, Bugolobi. They're everywhere, really. We're going to share that list on Twitter, but I guarantee that they're there. If you have any issues connecting to them, you can contact us via Facebook or Twitter. We are able to support you in any way, but they are there, I guarantee you. In terms of subsidizing internet, like
they are there before the subsidizing, but are they safe?
Yes, they're safe. We are not collecting your data. We're not spying on you.
There is that fear as well.
No,
Trust.
we are not spying on anybody. Please,
Okay.
use those hotspots.
Subsidizing?
In terms of subsidizing, like I explained earlier, what we're trying to do is drive demand, like Michael said as well. If there's no demand, we can't reduce the cost. So what we're doing from a government perspective is to drive demand for government entities so that we reduce the cost, which we have done and are continuing to do, because that in turn then forces the private sector to reduce. For us to subsidize for the citizen without considering the ecosystem would be detrimental, because there are private sector players, SMEs that are actually working. It's a business. So we have to consider the private sector players, we have to consider the entire ecosystem, but also put our weight as government to reduce the cost across the board so that the private sector can also take advantage and reduce the cost for Omuntu wa Wansi. So it's ongoing work. We've tried to make some strides and we continue to do so.
Okay. Was there something you have to respond to?
Yeah, maybe one point I could make is around, you see, beyond the security and maybe safety tools, we could also be looking at other trust drivers. One of these could be the IT audits things. There is a new law that is coming into force, mostly for fintech SMEs, the National Payment Systems the minister will gazette soon, but it requires you to undergo periodic IT audits of your systems so that they are foolproof and they are solid. Then, of course, I think one other tip probably that I could share with URA, and probably what we can really do to support businesses, not just from a trust and security perspective, but also tax-wise, is I think I would love to see URA also venturing into mapping and scoping of the ecosystem. Let us know who's where and what they are doing. There is a lot of, say, information from these hubs. Like if you come to Innovation Village, you can even follow them regionally, Guru and whatever. Those partnerships, we are able to do this. Some of these may not be immediate taxpayers. I'm not married, but my mom tells me, if you are trying to woo this very nice girl, that even before you express your interest, try doing certain basics, go talk to them, find out how the day was, send that text, etc. So some of this might be door knocking to find out how are you guys doing, because look, you have like the largest corporate list in Uganda. You can ably name top 100 taxpayers in this country. So if someone tells you they're a Meditech and coming up like Rocket Health, you know all the pharmaceuticals in the country, and you're able to hold such people on the arm and lead them to those. If someone tells you, look, we are an agri-tech, you know the top 10 agriculture companies in Uganda. So I think that way you're able to find out the challenges the big players have, because big players do not do much innovation. There is maybe arrogance, and sometimes they see innovation as a cost. But this young guy is willing to take that IP and build something big. So if you create value on both sides, if you knock on my door, sure, I'll give you the tax. Yeah. Thank you.
We have about 5 minutes to conclude, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Bala is asking, he attained the teen anticipating to start up a business, but I got a job within 2 weeks. I left the business issues, but when I went to check on my team, I found that they are given a penalty of 4.2. Someone's missing. Sam Bala, I think you need to talk to me. In time. Who else? There's some other burning concerns here. But calls, okay. Chibirige Andrew, we responded. I think that's it for now. I'm seeing others are coming in, but if they come in and we still have a minute or two, we will respond. And we finalize each one of us with a tip or two to proprietors of SMEs. You know, how can they get online and stand out? Because we're talking about doing business